Heilige Tzadikim Shavua Tov. I hope everything is well. I spoke to my grandfather, and what I've been doing over the last couple of weeks is writing out all the stories he's been sharing with me over the years, so they get put down and, God forbid, not forgotten. So a story that we spoke about this week, again, the way that my grandfather was educated by his grandfather and by his great-grandfather was through stories that they would share stories and mashalim, analogies, in order to educate the children. So a couple of weeks ago we went through the egg seller and the prince. And this is another beautiful story. So my great-great-grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, his name was Rabbi Gerzi. And he was a Rav who would be invited to go from place to place. Different towns in Turkey and Russia. And he would speak, he was invited to speak, he was a makubal, he was a pesach, he was very wealthy, and he was a noted figure. And he was invited to Izmir, and he ended up taking my grandfather and my great-uncle. And they were children, 5 and 6, or 6 and 7 maybe. And he goes with them to Izmir. And when they came to Izmir, they were greeted with a big entourage, big party, and they are escorted to their quarters, and they're fed and they're looked after. And Erev Shabbos, my great-great-grandfather, he gave a shir, Hilchos Shabbos, and then they went into Shabbos. There was dancing and very lively, and then they had the first meal, and the second meal, and throughout Shabbos day he's giving Musa shiurim, halacha shiurim. He spoke to the women as well, which was unusual at that time, but he spoke to the women, Musa shir. And this story took place Motzei Shabbos. Motzei Shabbos, they have a big Malava Malka. And it's a special Malava Malka just for the wealthy people of Izmir. And everybody comes, everyone's there who is invited and needs to be there. And it's in this beautiful courtyard, lavish setup. And what happens while everybody is eating near the beginning of the meal, my great-great-grandfather, Rabbi Gerzi, sitting at the top table. And a pauper comes in and he knocks to come in and collect money. And the Gabbai Tzedakah, a little bit rushed with him. He says, okay, go. And he goes round and he collects a nice amount of money. And then when he comes back to the other side, he asks, can I have something to eat? I'm starving. Haven't eaten mamash all Shabbos. I haven't eaten. And the Gabbai got irate with him and said, what the heck are you doing? You stink. You don't fit here. Get out of here. You've got enough money for a month. Go buy something. More you want? Get out of here. And the man goes. And whereas my great-great-grandfather, Rabbi Gerzi, would get up and do something, he knew from Shamayim not to do something, for there was something going on. About 15 minutes later, there's a distant sound of horses galloping, and as the horses and the chariot that's pulling the horses pull up outside where they're having the Malava Malka, a guy comes off with a trumpet and blows a trumpet, do, and this man is escorted off the chariot, and he just looks magnificent. He's wearing white, a long white beard, beautiful, tall, with a wooden cane, and he's escorted straight up to Rabbi Gerzi. Now, no one knows this person. Everyone's looking at this person in amazement. Is he an aristocrat? Is he a millionaire? Is he a prince? Who is he? Where's he from? Yet, Rabbi Gerzi speaks to this man as if they've known each other forever. And as they're schmoozing, then the strangest thing happens. The man dressed in white picks up the soup, and as he's drinking the soup, accidents happen. Some of the soup spills on his white jacket. Okay, fine, it happens. But then it becomes weirder because He pours the soup, and it looked like he did it intentfully. He pours the soup on his coat, and everyone's like a little bit shocked and silent and watching. And then he takes the hummus and the rice and the chicken, and he starts mamish going nuts. He's taking all the food and rubbing it into his white, beautiful clothing. And everybody's like, what is this guy's gone nuts? And then he bangs on the table and he stands up. And he looks at everyone and he says, when I came the first time, you treated me like drek. When I came the first time, you disrespected me. Okay, you don't have to give me the food, but it's the way you treated me. But now I come in beautiful, lavish clothing. Now everything is different. So who should I feed? Shall I feed my clothes or shall I feed the person in the clothes? And with this, the man gets down off the bima, off this magnificent table, and he walks out. And as you can imagine, the place is enveloped in a silence and a busha. And a few minutes later, when everyone settles down, Rabbi Gerzi said, my dear friends, Kehillat Izmir, yes, it's true you do Torah and you do mitzvahs, and yes, it's true that you give so much tzedakah. But you have to have derech eretz regardless. You have to remember the person in the clothes. It's not just about the mitzvahs, it's how you do the mitzvahs. And because you do so much goodness, because you give so much tzedakah and you do so much chesed, Eliyahu Navi himself came to give you mussar. Eliyahu Navi himself came to give you mussar. Remember to respect the person in the clothes. Be'ezras Hashem, my friends, we should have a very good Shabbos, a very good week. We should have a good vach, mamash, and remember to respect the person in the clothes.